In the last episode, we finished off the achievement diaries, so now we're trying to figure out what's next. Right, we've just woken up. As you can see, Bert has delivered the first 84 buckets. I'm wondering how much I actually have. Apparently we have 3,000 already banked, so let's see what that total gets to by the time I go for 99 crafting. But whilst I'm figuring out my next goals, I figured I would get on with my Slayer tasks. So I've got a Kraken task, so that does give me a chance at a pet, so I need to charge my eye up. I've taken the demon tears out of that and used runes on it because I think that's a lot easier to get back. The demon tears I'm going to need for the boots anyway if I ever get them. So yeah, I'm just going to get on with some stuff whilst I figure out a full list of what my next goals are for the series. Currently I only have like 40 fishing explosives, so I need to go and buy a bunch more. So I figure this will be the easiest Slayer Master to get to. Alright, there we go. I've brought 1,000, so should be enough for quite a few tasks. This is so much more relaxed when I can just pick up the loot and I'm not having to do the 100, because now I can just go to the bank, get my stuff and go straight back in. But honestly, it's not too bad loot considering. All right, so whilst I'm killing some Kraken in the background, I think I've figured out some of the goals I want to go for. Now, this isn't going to include things like gear upgrades because it's just gear upgrades in general I want, and I'll just be going for those as I'm doing everything else regardless. If I switch to doing something specific, then I'll make that a goal, such as if I was going to grind specifically for a T-bow or something like that. So I think we're going to start off with our next long-term goal, and this is going to be a very long-term goal, and that is going to be maxing. Now, I know that's going to be quite a while away, but I'm quite a busy person, so I do AFK quite a lot. So I'm thinking that I can start passively sort of working on maxing those skills when I'm not able to actively play or do things like I am now where I'm killing the Kraken. Because when I am able to actively play, I'm going to be focusing on more of the content I want to do, such as raids and things like that. So yeah, that is our new long-term goal. But I do have a bunch of short-term goals that I want to do in the meantime leading up to that. And it may be that we have a few sessions of short-term goals before we get there, but we'll see how it pans out. So the first short-term goal I really need to do is get the elite combat achievements. And the reason this is a very good one to go for as soon as possible is because it increases your superior chance, and since I'm going to be going for 99 Slayer anyway, it makes sense to get that as quickly as possible to give me a better chance at getting the imbued heart. So I'd say that's probably main priority in terms of the short goals. Now my next two short-term goals are sort of grouped together. So first one is 90 Herblore, and that's because that allows me to make the Overload Plus in chambers. That is one of my next goals in terms of PVM, is learning chambers so I can solo it. It's got so many useful drops, but I haven't really done it. I mean, we can unlock prayers, there's good magic gear, Dragon Claw's a good spec weapon in quite a few bosses. Obviously a twisted bow would be amazing. Elder Maul would mean I wouldn't necessarily need a Dragon Warhammer. I mean, there's just so many useful items that pretty much any drop there will be good, at least for the first purples. So those two kind of go hand in hand. I think I'm good enough at Tombs of Ramasket that I can get back into the flow of things there quite easily when I want to jump in there. But I want to get to that point with Chambers too, so I can just keep running those raids whenever I'm not doing group content or not needing to AFK things. The next two I think will probably be hand in hand as well. So that is to complete all the mini quests. I mean, I've done all the achievement diaries, I've done all the quests. I haven't done all the mini quests, and it would be nice just to completely clear that list. Not for anything specific other than just clearing the list itself, and you never know, future quests may need specific mini quests to be done as we've experienced before, so it'd be worth just knocking those out so that it doesn't potentially prevent any future content. And I think that goes hand in hand with trying to get the music cape, but that's going to be really useful for getting clue scrolls, and again it's kind of a sort of prestigious cape because you do need to have completed a lot of content to be able to access that. So those two are kind of hand in hand, just sort of clearing completionist stuff up. It's going to be quite useful, but also not a major priority. The next one is actually due to a relatively recent update, and that is putting all of the new teleports into the portal nexus, because previously there was a bunch that weren't available. I know they've added quite a few, and obviously using loads of different spellbooks teleports, I mean, it's just so useful, and having access to even more quick places to get to in the game will just always be useful. Even if it is just for the occasional niche use, it's just a real nice to have. So yeah, that is what we're going for. Now, I think, yeah, first thing I want to do is get the elite combat achievements before I get any new Slayer tasks that might have superiors, because I think both of my current ones don't. I think I should go for that, and I don't think I'm super far away. Let me just check quickly. Okay, I'm 315 points away. However, there is a lot of bosses that I haven't done that aren't too difficult, I believe, so I'm hoping that this shouldn't take too long, because there is a bunch of newer bosses I just have never touched. So after this, we'll figure out the first one to go with. I think I'm gonna, there's a list on the wiki of percentage completions, essentially, similar to they have it for leagues and stuff. For tasks, they have it the same for combat achievements. So what I'll do is I'll look at ones that, if they have a high percent completion, that means they're pretty easy to do, so I'll focus on those ones first so I can get as many points as quickly as possible. And if I'm at a boss, completing the quicker ones, if I can knock out any of the other ones, obviously I'll go for them as well. So I'm hoping it shouldn't take too long, but yeah, I definitely want to get this done. All right, that should be 200 kill count. We only have 8 more of this task, so it's not looking like we're going to get a pet, but the drop rate is 1 in 3,000, so that we're probably going to get a lot more kill count here. 208 kill count, the task is done. I'm assuming you just can't attack, yeah. Honestly, the loot isn't too bad there. It's pretty bad Slayer XP, but I'm kind of just sort of passively going for the pet whilst I've got Slayer tasks for it, so it's not the end of the world. So we need to figure out what tasks we're doing first. So I've got a lot I need to do, obviously. There's like 400 tasks I haven't done. So there's 2 tasks at Temporos, which the first one being using the angler outfit, which is why we finished that off. Any variation of the angler outfit, which is absolutely fine. And the other one is to get 10 permits in one go. So I can hopefully get both these knocked out at the same time. I've somehow failed this 3 times because there's mechanics I didn't even know. Like if you don't get the next phase of Temporos quick enough, then they may force abandon the minigame, which I didn't even know was a thing until this. So plus I stood on a fire which dropped a bunch of items. It's just, my lord, there's more mechanics to this than I remember. I think there's probably not as much to deal with when you're doing it as on the mass world. On the solos, there's much more to consider. I need 8,300 points. I'm not liking how close these fires have spread all the way around the island to me now. I might have to douse some of them just to keep it going. You have to do it in 3 phases or it just kicks you out. There we go. Dress like you mean it and why cook. Beautiful. So now in terms of combat tasks, we are done with Temporos, but let's quickly see if we get anything good. Be nice to get a fishing barrel, but unlikely. It's fine. We'll need to come back here at some point. Also, I don't know if this is the first time, but my bank is now worth over 1 bill. I think the first time that it's been completely my own gear, not me borrowing my teammates, so that's pretty mental. Or at least the first time I've realized it. Next highest completion combat achievements was at Perilous Moons. Right, I haven't completed any of the tasks here. There's 12 to do, and I think they give 33 points in total, so that will give me about 10% of the points I need for the next tier. So this is honestly a great place to just knock as many of them out as possible. All right, so I'm having to relearn how to do all of this. So I've just remembered how to do all of the prep stuff, and now I need to remember how to do all 3 bosses. It shouldn't be too difficult, but yeah, the first few runs are literally just going to be me killing them and hoping for the best, honestly. All right, my first chest since the quest, and what do we get? We get some of the darts. We actually get some not bad seeds and herbs, so that is something I'm looking forward to here. But we also got Lunar Triplet, which is just for basically completing a run, killing all of them. We got High Hitter, which was before a moon does their second special attack. And we also got the Fortify combat achievement, which is defeat a moon with 0 supplies. All right, so next combat task we're going to get on with. I'm going to kill all of them with just the Dragon Scimitar. That's why I brought it with me. So let's go and start the next run. What I need to get used to is the route. This place just honestly feels like a maze to me at the moment. Oh no, he died. I can't judge. I almost died at the other boss because I kept messing up the mechanic. What? I don't actually know what I'm meant to be doing there. Was I meant to go to a specific one? Because I was just taking constant 16s. The problem is that did reset my task for doing 30 in a row, so this may take longer if I keep messing up. So apparently during that attack there is one like you have to step on whichever one of these it is. So that is my bad. I just genuinely didn't know. I have sort of run back in here blind. Okay, there we go. I survived the mechanic. It was a bit clunky, but I'll get used to it. It's just a mechanic I haven't really dealt with much. There we go. We got back to our roots for that. Right, let's go and loot the chest. I think is this way. Definitely need to get used to the locations of everything. All right, let's see what we get. All right, I have no idea if any of that is good. I mean, prayer stuff is always going to be nice at least. All right, now we're back on our normal weapon. I think what I'm going to do is try the Eclipse Moon, where you have to only kill it with its clones. There we go, clone zone done. Now the main tasks after this are all kill count related, normal kill count ones, getting 30 without leaving the dungeon, so hopefully I won't die again. Speed runs, one for making sure I don't get hit by special attacks. That's just I've got to improve. And the main one that's locked behind a drop is killing a moon with its associated weapon drop. So if I go dry, that could be a problem. Oh, okay, I got Moons of Peril speed trialist. I wasn't actually going for anything there. I don't know which one that is. Okay, apparently that's killing them all in 8 minutes, and I used a couple of specs, but I was also slightly AFK after one of them, so I should be able to get the fast one relatively quick. All right, loot number 4. All right, bunch stuff. I mean, honestly, this is a really good piece of like mid-game content. I see why this is like a Barrows equivalent. Like you get herbs and just useful materials and stuff. So honestly, I'm really glad they introduced this, as much as I haven't interacted with it because I was past the point of needing it at the time. That's all I had time for this one. From the date I finished editing this one, it's about a week or so away from leagues. So I'm probably not going to do videos specifically on leagues because I just don't have the time to be doing that on top of this. But it does mean that there is a good chance, because I won't be playing the main game, there'll be less of me recording clips and things like that. So there may be a couple of weeks break at some point after this episode. However, if you do want to keep up with the series, then make sure to subscribe. But otherwise, I'll see all of you in the next one.